everybody, I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to Look Back on the Dice Tower. This is a series that I do where I take a look at reviews that I did last year, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and 20 years ago. And I tell you what I think about them now, if I think about them at all. So let's go back 20 years ago, and I reviewed a game called Truth or Fib. And really, that's the game. The game is, am I telling a truth or am I telling a fib? There's so many of these games out there that have done it better. This is one that's fallen by the wayside. 5 out of 10. Feudo. So the designer of this game has not designed too many games, and I'll probably talk about one of their other games later. This is kind of a move and capture type game. It's not really held up over time. 6 out of 10. Leapfrog, a game that comes in a VHS cassette tape done by Fragor Games. I would like to see this one redone at some point. The idea is you're frogs and you're all just playing cards to jump forward, and the last frog is in the frying pan and loses at the end of the game, which you don't want. I liked it. 7 out of 10. And another kind of indie game that I played 20 years ago was Santa's Elves. This is a little game from Candy Weber from Weber Games. And again, this is very, very, very low quality game, but it was a nice little game about trying to get the right gifts for Christmas. This is another one I'd like to see redone. 7 out of 10. The Mutiny on the Little Blue. This is from Christian Osby, who is still making games today. We just played one of his games this week and really enjoyed it. This one here, there's a captain, and you're trying to convince the captain to take you on shore, but one of you is a mutineer, and that changes from turn to turn. I really enjoyed this one, a 7.5. 10 years ago, I reviewed Lagoon Lands of Druids, a really beautiful game, but I found it to be just really abysmal in play. 3 out of 10. 11 Seas. I don't get this game. This whole idea of putting numbers in front of you, people really like this style. It is not for me. A 5 out of 10. King's Forge. It's funny to think this is 10 years ago now. So many games have come out about forging items and using dice to do so. It's okay. 6 out of 10. Also, just shy of a game I would play, Bucket King 3D. Bucket King is a game about stacking buckets, a very, very light game. We're talking Uno weight, and this one just happened to be 3D buckets. 6.5. Warhammer 40,000 Conquest. So this is a living card game from Fantasy Flight, and I enjoyed it. I haven't really played it much since it's come out. Also, they stopped. It did not last very long, but it was pretty solid for what it was. 7 out of 10. Warhammer Disc Wars. I never played the original Disc Wars, but I like the concept of Disc Wars, which has discs, and you flip them to move them and kind of rotate them, roll them a little bit. It's just a clever game. Unfortunately, they never came out with enough expansions for it, but I still liked it. 7.5. Rococo. This is the original Rococo I played a decade ago, not the new, very deluxe version of it, but I like this game about making dresses, a nice worker placement game. 7.5. Medina. This is kind of a, not push your luck, but a game of chicken, because you're building this city and at some point you want to claim it. But once you claim it, you can't make it bigger. So you're making it bigger, hoping someone else doesn't claim it before you. And it's also beautiful, 7.5. And then Viva Java, the coffee game, the dice game. Ridiculous name. Viva Java, the coffee game, I did not really like, but the dice game is neat. It's like Yahtzee, but as the game goes by, you're evolving and getting more powers. There's probably another one that needs to be redone with a shorter name. That one's an 8 for me out of 10. All right, 5 years ago, I reviewed Charty Party. So, Charty Party is, I love charts, and so this looked like a fun game. It's just really bad. A lot of things when it comes down to party games, you need to pick good categories. This one just didn't do very well. 4 out of 10. Deep Blue, a Days of Wonder game that gets only a 5 from me. And unfortunately, it's a push your luck game, but other people push your luck. I know some people like that. I do not. Towers of Harb. This is from Ladius Games, a game about stacking towers. Not too good. 5 out of 10. And The Sinister Six. This was, I remember 5 years ago now, this is where I'm starting to see Marvel games. There was a slew of really good Marvel games, and now that we saw some that weren't so hot, this is one of those. It just isn't very good. 5 out of 10. Die Hard, the Nakatomi Heist. I really like this game, and I give it a 6 out of 10. Why? Because it's one time. You kind of play the same way each time. You're trying to crawl through, you're trying to crawl through the glass and go through the air ducts and whatever else happened in the movie. It's basically following the Die Hard movie, but there's not a lot of deviation. Barrage. Man, oh man, this heavy, crunchy, kind of mean Euro-style game with some production problems from Cranial Creations, but it's a really solid game, 8 out of 10. Las Vegas Royale. I really like Las Vegas. It's a nice dice-rolling game that's gotten a lot of good buzz. And this adds special powers and a lot of cool things to it, 8.5. Paladins of the West Kingdom. It's strange to think that 5 years ago, there's so many Garfield games did not yet exist. Paladins was top of the walk for a while there. A very thinky follow-up to Architects. I think at the end of the day, I probably like Architects a little better. Paladins, very solid, 8.5. And then Awkward Guess the Walton Case. This is one of those games that just kind of blew my mind when I played it. I was like, this is a deduction game. I hated the art of it. It was in Spanish. I was like, I'll give it a try and see. And I was just amazed at how much I enjoyed it, a 9 out of 10. Last year, I reviewed The End Is Nigh, a 2-player back-and-forth game about getting people off the planet, 6.5, almost there. Symphony Number 9. I like games about music, and this one works okay, 7 out of 10. Skyrockets, Festivals of Fire. This is a speed flip timer type game. These work for me. They're very quick. If it was longer, I might not like it. 7 out of 10. Although I think Kites has replaced it. I don't know. Or Skyrockets replaced Kites. I forget which one. Sweet Mess, Pastry Competition. Yeah, I like Sweet Mess. This is a game that has some really cool components about kind of cascading ingredients, and you're grabbing ingredients to fulfill things. A really great, like I said, production, 7.5. White Castle. This one here, I like this new game from DeVere, and it's really popular. In fact, they added it to the World Series of Board Gaming, and I thought, that seems like an odd choice. Then I looked it up on Board Game Geek, and it's ranked 126. So go figure. This game about drafting dice and using those dice to take some main actions. You don't have a lot of turns in this game, but you can have some long cascading turns. 8 out of 10. And then the Rats of Wistar. So this is like the Secret of Nymph, the board game. Another Cranio production and a few kind of, again, production problems with it. But this idea, there's so many, you're like rats and you're trying to make weird devices and get cheese and go through the house. Has a neat central mechanism of workers moving around a wheel. I like it a lot, 8.5. So there you go, folks. Those are the reviews that I did 1, 5, 10, and 20 years ago and what I think about them now. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and this has been Look Back on the Dice Tower. Hey folks, thanks for watching another one of our videos. If you like our videos, if you like our channel, if you would love to game with us at one of our conventions, check out Dice Tower Cruise, Dice Tower East, and Dice Tower West. Fantastic conventions where we play games with wonderful people, a humongous library, and lots of other events and stuff. Also, don't forget to check out our channel, like and subscribe. I'm Tom Vasel.